Hello and welcome to another episode of the Top Bid 90 show. I got my man Jonathan here. What's up, bro? How are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man. All the New Year's resolutions still going?
Still going.
Nice, man. Awesome. So we got a couple of topics we want to talk about tonight. Again, our show is all about soccer. We cover everything soccer. We cover European. We cover MLS. We cover international soccer. And so the first place we have to start is in La Liga. Atletico are up in the league. They are number one right now. Madrid is second with 1 point behind them, but
2 points.
2 points behind them. And Atletico has 2 games difference. So, like, they can play 2 more games, and if they win, they'll be 7 points, man. So, what do you think, man? Is this the year Atletico wins it again?
I think so. I've talked previously a couple of weeks ago here in the show saying that they are the champs. I predicted they will be. They seem that they are still strong. They every week I look for them to fall and tie and lose, but they're still going strong.
Yeah.
And we know their weakness are striker position, but they're still scoring goals somehow. They manage their midfields are getting goals. Llorente and Saul, they seem to get a couple goals for them.
Yeah. Even when, like, you think they'll tie, like, they were 1-1, and then Luis Suarez scored right that last-minute winner to win it 2-1, man. So, I think, yeah, similar to you, man, I think this is it's their season now to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like, everything is going for them. And even though Barca won 3-2 today, shout out to Barca beating Athletic Bilbao. But, yeah, like, they have the best I wouldn't even say the best team, but the most consistent team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they are the strongest at every position, the whole squad. Unlike other teams, they might,
That's a
be
good point.
Striker, but then they also their bench. They have world classes players at their bench. They bench Yannick Carrasco sometimes.
Yeah.
They bench Thomas Lemar from time to time. Saul hasn't been the starting lineup the whole season. He's been up and down in the lineup. And that's their captain.
Yeah.
But they have
world-class goalkeeper with Oblak.
Yeah. But we keep talking about their weakness. Striker, they're thin. They're thin. They don't have depth in that position.
Yeah.
Now, Diego Costa ended his
terminated his contract.
And now they need to go and sign somebody just in case Suarez. Then you have Joao Felix that, something can happen to them, red card or injury to Joao Felix.
Yeah, that's one interesting thing I thought about as well, because Atletico, like, they have a good team, and I think the bench is good too, but, like, I still don't think they have enough. Like you said, like, 2 or 3 major injuries, and, like, that team doesn't look that good. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it'll be interesting to see, like,
if they can keep it up.
They can keep it up, and maybe if they add somebody in the January window as well, because, I mean, like, if you terminated Diego Costa's contract, you may be freeing up some money to kind of do something else. You know what I'm saying?
That does open money, because Diego Costa had a nice contract paid, but you also can look into what's his name, Correa. Correa, he could get more minutes now. He's a striker. Sometimes you see him midfield, different positions in the wing. But this opens up opportunity for him.
Yeah, my thing with Correa, though, is I feel like he's never consistent, man. Yeah. So, like, I've seen games like, yo, this guy is so good, and then, like, 6 games later, like.
And it's funny because you think he's like, okay, one day he's going to break out, but this guy is already like 25, 26. He's no longer 22 when he first got into Atletico.
Yeah, if you were Diego Simeone, who would you add to that team right now? Where would you be looking to add?
Definitely a striker, but Lautaro Martinez is a guy that I always look to, that I would like to in one of my teams. Then you could say look into a team that's kind of struggling, whether it's budget or whether in the position, and they have a good player that might not be in the best position. Like Ozil is an example, but he's a midfield, but that's like a team that's struggling. He's not getting minutes.
Yeah.
Contract, problems. But then with strikers, there's not that many out there in the market.
That's a good point, man. Like, I would try to find, like, kind of like a young and up and coming striker, somebody that you could get at a decent price that you're not gonna overpay.
That's when you go to those Portuguese leagues, Belgium, Where Porto is always bringing in South American players, and that's what. And Atletico Madrid is good at that. They have got in the past Sergio Agüero from them.
Yeah.
They have got
Falcao. He came straight from Porto.
Straight from Porto. They
Albert Ellis is in Portugal.
I saw his game.
If you're not Honduran, you're like, who is that?
It's in the market.
Yeah, so he would be good. Where do you see Real Madrid? What do they need to add to continue to compete, I guess?
Well, Real Madrid, they just need to compete. In order for them to compete, don't put Marcelo in the starting lineup. Keep Mendy. Mendy has 30 games where he's undefeated. He's never lost a game where he has started.
Okay, but it's not been because of him.
Well, but when you put Marcelo, if Mendy's not there, it's Marcelo then.
Yeah.
And what happens? Goals in his... Because of him.
Okay.
Usually he's not running back. He's giving a ball away. He's not tracking. He's not jumping.
Okay, I see your point. They're weaker with him on the side.
Same thing with Isco. When he's there, we lose the ball and then counterattack, goal, and all the cameras point at them. You see Marcelo. He lost the ball.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's where you would Real Madrid look stronger when you have Mendy, and with adding, you can definitely talk about Haaland, you can talk about Neymar, all the big names that are there.
But January's not the window to do it. I feel like, especially for a big name like that.
Unless you go like Real Madrid, they're known for always doing the last day buying, but they usually in the winter they do a South American, Brazilian, where they have got Rodrigo in the past.
That's true.
Vinicius in the past. They did get Modric a couple years ago from Tottenham in the winter window. They got Cien, good buys.
Yeah.
But they usually don't do that.
Yeah.
Right now, I think they're focused more on Sergio Ramos and his contract.
Yeah.
David Alaba might be coming next summer. So right now they're trying to take care of
contracts. How crazy would that be? That like, if I'm not like, there's no way it can happen. I think, but like PSG trying to get PSG trying to get Sergio Ramos and Messi.
That's the plan, according to them. Right now, they just got Pochettino. He doesn't want to talk about transfers. He said he wants to focus on the games and his team that he has. But they know in the back of his mind,
they want that super team, bro.
That super team.
It's a super team, but like
over 30.
Yeah.
Arsenal, the AC Milans of the world in the past.
Yeah. It's kind of like with Inter. Like if they do that, they need to win everything that one season. You know what I'm saying? Because your team doesn't really have.
It's a one-time hit.
Yeah, man. That's what I was looking at Barca, because the names that we've been like linked with, and even like they're looking to bring in Eric Garcia right now from Man City. But I'm like, we already have 2 young center backs. You know what I'm saying? We got Mingueza and we got Araujo. Like we need an experienced player if we're gonna bring another center back. But like even like I'm like, just wait 6 months. Like, is he really that big of a difference?
He won. That's what I keep saying. Sometimes in the winter market, you usually don't get for the future unless you're getting a young player for many years to come. Like I mentioned, for a Brazilian, Argentinian player. When you do go out and get a big name, is because you want immediate impact for 100%. That same season. Like you're probably fighting for Champions League, and you know somebody just got a 6-month injury, so you're trying to replace, but because you know you're in the about to go to quarterfinals and fight for maybe a semifinal place. Those big names, but it's hard. I know Dortmund last year, they went and got Haaland. And that was for the future, and he worked out immediately.
And it was for the now too.
Rare cases that happens where it's for the now, and also.
I feel like certain players, you know that though, like the Haalands of the world, you knew. Mbappe when he went over to PSG, you just know. You know what I'm saying? There's certain players that are at that caliber.
That like ones are like a guess.
Yeah, like if it would be more weird for Haaland not to be successful than to be successful at these
teams.
Especially
at Dortmund, where they train you, they work you. You'll get immediate minutes in Dortmund. Every young player goes out and plays immediately. Doesn't go and disappear where maybe at Chelsea or a Real Madrid.
Yes, I was looking. I was like, if we're gonna tie up a center back, like it should be at least somebody with experience. Like it doesn't have to be a crazy name. Although I would like an Upamecano or somebody of that stature to come into the team. But I'm like, okay, if we don't have any money, that's not gonna happen. But try to get a decent buy who has experience. Like you saw it with Araujo making mistakes. Like, okay, like you need somebody in there that like, and people say Piqué, but like Piqué is like, okay, like he's still injured, and when he comes back, like you don't know, like Piqué's already older, so you don't know how much that's gonna affect him even more. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. Barcelona seems like they have a lot of defenders. They're good with it, even though Piqué is in and out. You don't know what you get from him. Same thing with the young guys. Which is also a good thing because they're learning.
Yeah.
They're getting the experience. They're going to those mistakes won't be happening maybe in the future in a year from now.
But I think they need somebody back there that's going to give them confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like if you've got two 21-year-olds starting week in, week out, like, yeah, they will get that experience, but you need somebody like a Puyol or somebody saying, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like even like when Piqué was like newer to the team, like Puyol was the guy he leaned on.
So you don't trust Umtiti,
no.
Lenglet, then Piqué when they come back?
No.
I say Barcelona needs more a striker more than a center back currently because you haven't really replaced Suarez. Griezmann hasn't been himself. He doesn't seem like he's fit in Barcelona or maybe ever will.
Yeah.
And then you have the one that you did get last winter in the last day or after the transfer, the window had closed. Braithwaite.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I agree with you, but looking at what Barca have and like our contracts are so heavy up at the front. You know, the best players are the best paid players play where? In the front, right? Griezmann, Coutinho, Leo Messi, Dembele. All these guys have high wages. Like, you're not gonna pay like to get like the only thing you can get is another Braithwaite type of striker right now. So like, okay, do we need another Braithwaite? No. I'd rather, if they're going to spend some money, I would rather them spend on the back. Although I do agree that we do need another striker. But I'm like, if they can get rid of somebody like Griezmann or Coutinho or somebody like that to free up the money to buy, like, go for it. But like adding another player with a big contract up front when you already have all these guys, that's a hard sell, you know?
Yeah. Plus, Barcelona can't afford anybody right now. Even if they want it or the player agreed, they can't afford that big contract. That's why they didn't get Memphis Depay. Yeah. They need to sell in order for them to. They need to get rid of another contract.
Yeah, man.
To get a bigger.
Yeah, I mean that Neymar money was wasted, man.
When is it like Barcelona came in? It was in the news last week. 150, they're down in minutes.
Yeah,
they're like in debt.
A lot, bro. It's about that one. 150 is one of their net losses, allegedly.
It could be more.
Yeah. But even then, like, I'm interested to see like the presidential candidates, what's gonna happen in about 2 weeks, and so we'll see what happens because they're not. It sounds like they don't even want to move in the market till they know who's gonna be leading the club, and with Messi probably leaving, Messi.
It still seems like it might get a little more cloudy than sunny in Barcelona.
Yeah.
But maybe the worst days are behind them.
That's what I was thinking.
Some results recently. Still getting a loss here and then, but seems, you know.
Well, it's a team that's like in La Liga. It should end at least third. You know what I'm saying?
They should be in European place.
Yeah.
I mean, they are keep going up and up, but there's still other teams that right now are fighting for European. They were going to give them a run for the money to the Barcelona players.
Man, that's so sad that like that we're talking about like them like competing for that instead of the like
first place goals. We're used to, you know, by then it's like the La Liga race is over. It's a 2-man race by now.
Yeah,
and it's like who's going to fall first? Yeah, Barcelona. Not this year. We're talking about other teams might giving. Racing has been up there for the whole season.
Yeah, they've been consistent. Which is the stuff that like annoys me because like we go and beat teams like Real Sociedad and then we beat Athletic Bilbao today. Like, okay, like these are very like promising, but like you don't do anything with it. You know what I'm saying? You go and tie teams in the bottom of the league. Right. Like, okay, like all that work means nothing.
I agree. I see Barcelona go tie first and lose, then Real Madrid goes and does the same thing, and then Atletico doesn't fall for that, and they get points from them. But Real Madrid and Barcelona whatever. If one does something, they do the same thing.
Yeah, man, that's it's a weird season. So it's interesting because like in La Liga we kind of have like, all right, this is probably the main horse, right? Versus let's move over to the Premier League. I thought I had the main horse with my Liverpool, but now, man, after 3 games on the bounce where we've just tied and lost, it just opened the league up. And one thing I wanted to touch on is with I heard this term called the pandemic pressure, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that, because like it seems like every team goes through a batch of like just a lot of bad games. It's not like one or two.
It's been the whole season in Premier League. You seen Leicester City was first, I believe, like that. Oh, Everton was at top. Then they win like 3 games, tie, lost 3 games probably without a win. Then Leicester City, then Tottenham was at the top. Then now they fell. Then you had now you have Liverpool. Yeah. You still have Chelsea going as well. Both of them are in the same boat.
Manchester United's tied for first.
Manchester United with a game
in hand. Yeah, and also like people don't like Man City is 4 points behind with 2 games in hand.
Nobody's talking about City.
Yeah,
and
man.
I keep telling people City's going. The only one I see fighting for that spot for Liverpool.
Me too.
Manchester United.
Me too.
Not Tottenham, not Chelsea.
I 100% agree with
City.
you. Even when people were talking Tottenham, even when people now they're talking Man U, like I was like, but the thing that's interesting me about like that term that they talked about was like, like in England they always talk about the Christmas period, how difficult it is, because they got games back to back. But I feel like this season, especially in the Prem, like the Christmas period is all year. From the beginning is game, Champions League game, FA Cup game, cup game, international players leaving for international.
Champions League.
Yeah, so like all these things, that makes sense. Like Man United started horrible. They're in first place tied with us now. Arsenal went through 6-7 games playing bad. Chelsea's currently going through that. We're kind of going through that with 2 ties and a loss. Tottenham, when they went top, like they went down as well. So I'm like, okay, like this just makes the league like
more interesting,
and it's way more open now than I ever would have thought.
I agree. You see other teams out there. We had that surprise 2015 Leicester City.
Yeah.
Then you see sometimes maybe a Stoke City. You see another Southampton from time to time up there, top 4.
This year,
they just beat Liverpool 1-0. But 7 points. The difference between first place and 10th.
That's crazy.
10th, and you have a 2 game in a row that you lose, and you're down to 10th. And that's what happened with Tottenham. They were first. Next week they were 5th. Chelsea, they were 2nd, almost there to fighting with Liverpool. Now they're top 7.
Yeah,
top 7. And because you're having too many back-to-back games. You check the table. You check the results.
Yeah.
2 bad, 1 tie, and you're done. You can't lose.
Yeah, which to me, like, okay, this makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these teams having bad batches, and the teams that aren't as good have even worse batches. That's why Arsenal's batch has been so bad for such a long time, 6-7 games. I mean, Liverpool, like, maybe it'll switch when we play Man U, which it'll be an interesting game. But like, it's been 2 ties and a draw, or 2 ties and a loss, which I mean, like, that's detrimental. But like, okay, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Not that bad, yeah.
But like, because like we just kind of opened the opportunity for somebody to go first place and all of this, that's why it looks so bad.
This was the moment for Liverpool to pretty much stand themselves out.
Which
the rest
that's the annoying part, because after we beat Tottenham, we were 3 points ahead, and I was like, okay, the next 3 games are very winnable, so like we can separate ourselves, and like we didn't do that.
And it wasn't like big matches, and you're right.
Yeah,
that's when you were supposed to get away from the rest. And Manchester United no longer has Champions League to worry about, and now
but they got Europa League.
But are they going to put all their beans and seeds in that?
I don't know, but
when you have a chance right now to go up 3 in the Premier League, I mean Europa League.
The only way I see Manchester United compete is if they do something in this window, because I think their team is not good enough to finish it out. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they will win. I do think they're going to the whole season finish fight for maybe first, second, and fourth.
If it stays as inconsistent as it is now, I can see them. But 1 or 2 teams I just still feel like we'll pull off. I think we'll pull off. Liverpool will pull off again, and probably Man City. I don't see anyone else.
Those are the 2 when it comes to like in the 30s games, when we get to 31 games. That's those 2 we're going to see at the end. And
if Man U add, like, I don't know, like another center back, or if they add, like, I don't know, if they go out and spend money on like somebody like Jack Grealish, which I don't know how he would fit in there if you got Bruno Fernandes already in that position.
Too many in midfield, too many.
Yeah, Donny van de Beek, Pogba. Yeah. Like if you sell Pogba and bring Grealish, okay.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
That's a good trade. But if Man Utd decides to go get somebody, maybe they should get somebody on the wings, left back, right back, actually, or center back. Like you said. Because sometimes Harry Maguire doesn't look as strong. Yeah, man. You see Luke Shaw sometimes give you a good game, sometimes not.
Yeah.
Then you have the other guy that goes up. He's nice going forward, but then behind sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah, and like it's like they got VAR on their side anyway, so they're
every time they win every decision. Against Chelsea, man, they won last season 2-3.
Bro, they got a very penalty that's questionable, but then like I don't know, like just being a Liverpool fan, I guess I'm a little bit more biased, but there was a questionable penalty on our end and we didn't get it, you know what I'm saying? So it just adds more fuel.
I think everybody's, besides maybe Manchester United and Tottenham, everybody feels like that.
Yeah.
Because their VAR doesn't go their way, but Manchester every time it goes their way. But like I said, I see them fighting like the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not get the trophy, but remember, Europa League, they won't focus on it because Arsenal in the past, Chelsea in the past, and Manchester United when they won it with Mourinho about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
they were in it the whole season Europa League because they were not fighting for top four. They knew they were going to be out there top four, so they knew the only way to get to Champions League was winning Europa League, and that's what happened that season. And same thing with Chelsea. And you only get into Champions League by winning Europa League.
Yeah.
But this time, Manchester United is actually in top four, maybe first place next game. And so their Europa League won't be pointless for them.
Yeah. This is probably the only Prem season outside of the Leicester one that I see either if Leicester or Southampton. Those are the two like outside teams that I think that because like, okay, we're halfway through the season. You're still in the mix. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your moment to try to put together, all right, we got 20 more games, whatever it is. Like, okay, like, let's go week by week and, like, compete for the title. This is your one opportunity. I don't know. If I was their coaches, I'd be like, okay, like, we're still in the mix halfway through the season. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Leicester, you still have some players, Brighton there. Then you have Vardy as well.
Vardy, you got
players,
Madison.
A couple players that also those were already there 2015.
Yeah.
Brighton and
I got
Vardy.
You. Yeah.
So they have
part of the winning team. Yeah.
The underdog mentality, and then you have in top 10 Aston Villa. If they get some winning streak going, they could go up.
Yeah. But out of all the teams that I've seen play, like I think Southampton, because they played well against Arsenal, they played well against us. Against City.
They have some good players.
Yeah, Leicester too. Leicester goes toe-to-toe with you. They played well against Tottenham. They played well against City. They beat them 5-2. You know, like, these teams, I'm like, okay, like, they've done it with small teams, and they've also done it against the big teams.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, like, they're the ones that I see. Like, Aston Villa, yeah, they smashed us. But then they go and, like, lose to, like, Brighton or somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've talked about Leicester finishing top 4 a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't see Everton. I still don't see them top 4, but I did mention Leicester finishing top 4, and they're a strong team. I've seen them. I like watching their games.
Yeah, they play really well. It's interesting because I think Brendan Rodgers is now like a more mature coach than when he was coaching Liverpool.
Seems calm. He seems like he makes better subs. I can see him. He does the nice substitution who he needs to.
Yeah,
and that comes with experience and reading games. And
but I think he needs. I think the one thing he needs to work on, which we'll see this season, is finishing strong. You know, we didn't finish strong when he coached us, and we didn't win the Prem.
Right.
He didn't finish strong last year, and they finished 5th when they were in 2nd. You know what I'm saying?
And he'll learn that from that.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. One last thing I want to talk about, too, then, since we're in the Prem kind of conversation. Like, Mourinho is in the Cup final with Tottenham, you know?
Will he win it? Tottenham. Will Mourinho bring it?
It'll be Pep versus Mo, so it'll be good, you know what I'm saying? If Mourinho wins that cup
against Guardiola,
what's a bigger achievement? Him winning that title with Tottenham, even though out of all the cups, it's probably the least important, or him finishing second with Man United when you had Smallings and Jones as your center back?
Which
one was more important?
I think winning with Tottenham.
Okay.
Because nobody remembers second place ever. It doesn't. You don't. Oh wow, what a.
But you know what? When he said that at the time, like we were like, okay, like what?
Because he wants to make a bigger brand out of him, bigger name.
But like looking back now, like you're like, wow, like that's actually not bad for the center back pairing you had.
That's what he does throughout history. He talks about his former team.
Yeah.
I had this guy starting at center mid and I won the Champions League. And I had a crazy guy like Balotelli and I still won. Or I had a crazy cuckoo guy like Pepe and I still won Copa del Rey with Madrid. And you see him like that because he wants to see more important, more better than what he was. But bringing finally a trophy to Tottenham after years and years, and in his first full season, I think that's what they brought him for. That's more achievable. That's more important, and especially against Guardiola, where he has had the last couple of games over him.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that as well. I mean, like, even though, like, don't get me wrong, I think, like, when he said that, like, finishing second with Man United with that center back pairing was a success, and, like, I'm like, you know what? It really was. Like, everyone was like, you know what? Like, at first you didn't think it was great, but now I'm like, looking back, I'm like, yeah, man, to finish second, even though they were so far off the league, I think that was a good accomplishment too. But I think, winning a title for Tottenham, even though it's just a cup, the Emirates Cup, I think it's called. Like, I can't even remember what they...
Carling Cup at some point. Coca-Cola Cup.
They change it all the time. But I think, that because Tottenham hasn't won anything in such a long time, and two, you're doing against Pep Guardiola, and, like, I think it would be a good thing for Tottenham to finally get across the line somewhere. You know what I'm saying? To finally, like, okay, like, say, like...
That's going to change their minds.
100%.
Wow, we can win something. Actually, we can win in finals.
Yeah.
And now you can also bring players in. Okay, Mourinho is doing something out there in Tottenham, and he can win. He can get us... Tottenham's going to get bigger name and bigger market, and that only gets your club bigger and bigger.
100%. Like you need to have that winning mentality, even if it was just a cup. So that cup will look really good right next to the Audi Cup.
And then Maria will regret when he said that he was embarrassed when they wanted to bring him to Tottenham a couple of years ago. Did you hear about that?
Man, a lot of players have taken digs at Tottenham. Even was it Chiellini in the Champions League? He was like, it's Tottenham. We expect.
Man, Arsenal and Tottenham, they have had.
Yeah, they've been the laughing stock a couple of years. Yeah, even Chelsea now with all the pressure that Frank's getting too.
No, with Chelsea it's been Kepa. With Kepa, everything.
Yeah.
Kepa, he can coach you guys. You guys don't need a coach. And it's like just ask Kepa what to do. And it's like that's what they were been a dig at Chelsea.
Yeah, that's true. Well, awesome. This concludes another episode of the Top Bin 90 show. Jonathan, thanks so much for coming on, bro.
Thank you. It was fun.